This book is to be neither an accusation nor a confession, and least of all an adventure. For death is not an adventure to those who stand face to face with it. It will simply try to tell of a generation of men who, even though they may have escaped its shells, were destroyed by the war. Eric Maria Remarque in All Quiet on the Western Front. First time I read that book, I barely understood the premise and wholly had no understanding of the horrors of the First World War. I believe I was about 11 years old and hadn't had much business with a novel that graphic. As mentioned on Wikipedia, and so it must be true, the phrase "all quiet on the Western Front" has become a colloquial expression meaning stagnation or lack of visible change in any context. So here we are, approaching the Christmas holiday, Festivus, or whatever your seasonal celebration, whatever of your choice. I mean, there's something, okay, several things, at our present that resonate with the feeling that I get from this book and stories from the war just over 100 years ago. In some respects, it's the stagnation that seems ever present as we've rolled through 2021. Maybe it's the fact that I'm in Oregon, and we only to find ourselves here facing a reality that's not markedly brighter than that of 2020. I'll spare you my list of complaints, friend, and I trust that you'll extend us the same courtesy. At the same time, however, I'm reminded of the 1914 Christmas Truce that the men, these very young men, on the front lines and in the trenches gave to one another back when the world was gray. I'd encourage you to seek out some of their writings and firsthand accounts, the German and British soldiers for yourself. And imagine the confusion when, from across the narrow strip of hell that separated them, they heard singing. Then, tense negotiation, the emergence to meet in the middle, and trust that at least on this one occasion, violence could be left in the trench. They talk of meeting in no man's land and exchanging cigars, wine, and food. Who knows where the soccer ball came from? Granted, this was quite early in the Great War, and none of these men knew just how long and terrible an endeavor it would go on to become. Despite that, I find encouragement in the story as a testament to the ability of you and I, and yes, even our enemies, to be able to set aside our differences, if only for a moment, to respect and honor one another. Perhaps the worst conditions can bring out the best in us in these days as we face our own call towards no man's land. So too, let this writing be neither an accusation nor a confession. Wire tangled and crossed, rusted, barbed and bloodied, cloudless steel gray skies, broken with deadly noise, starved for heat, light, and rest, reduced, based, entrenched. 1,000-mile stare beneath a helmet too large. No company, no comfort, no crossing. Held fast with the rodents and remains. Patience expired along with desire, praying, begging the command. Charge. You've got my take. What say you?